Thank you, Chairman. We'd like to reiterate our deep concern about the new closed-door modality of this process from March, as we explained in our text. We hope that we will reverse this anti-democratic move, which will mean that these negotiations respond even less to the interests of our peoples in our territories of the Global South. Today, the sections of the Zero Draft on private finance do not guarantee any form of accountability from the private sector in terms of human rights, and they only include gender tokenistically, turning investments into care, public services and the SDGs into business opportunities rather than rights. Even worse, they entrench false solutions of financialization, handing over management of sustainable finances to the World Bank, which shows scant signs of democratic governance, and it worsens this in terms of extractive practices. Women in the Global South don't need more loans. We need bold redistributive measures to deconcentrate private economic power, which jeopardizes democratic governance, even within this very forum, while exempting the private sector from any form of responsibility in terms of sustaining life on the planet. For this chapter, then, we would like to see explicit language, which means that private sector investments are subject to minimum human rights, environment and decent work standards, prioritizing investment geared towards local development strategies, industrialization, and this should be led by local stakeholders rather than international, multinational and financial interests. We need to see a strengthening of the national financial sector, ensuring that profits are reinvested at local level with capital controls to shield countries from short-term speculative investments. We need to explicitly disincentivize the use of blended finance, as this isn't appropriate for all sectors. That disincentive needs to be explicit. There needs to be this, and areas such as social security, education and health need to be shielded from it, as here there are proven negative health effects on equality, and we need to strengthen the public and universal provision of these services. We also need to strengthen language on harmonisation and interoperability, but we also need to ensure that sustainable, however, the useful impact of the private sector in sustainable development, the impact of this continues to be scarce, and this therefore would lead us to call for the elimination of Article 34. We need to redesign these mechanisms within the UN, otherwise we risk seeing further debt distress for development. So we would call for the removement of subparagraphs C and E in particular from this section, as we believe that these statements are questionable and could have detrimental human rights impact. We also believe that green, blue and gender bonds should not be used, because these can create perverse incentives whereby investment is geared towards profit rather than necessarily development itself. Thank you.